Update. Am I the a-hole for refusing to change the ownership of the house I bought for my parents? Original post. I, 33, female, owned multiple businesses. I'm not really rich, but since I'm single and childless, I have a lot of spare money. I also saved a lot for my retirement since I don't plan to marry and have children. I'm the youngest of my siblings and the one that made most money. My elder siblings sacrificed a lot for me to get education since my father passed away when I was 17. I'm forever grateful for them. My stepfather, Dan, 68 male, has 10 children with his previous wife. His previous wife passed away from cancer years ago. Dan and my mother, Susan, 58 female, was introduced when I was 20. I don't like his family. His children are all greedy and selfish. In my country, it's our culture to give money to our parents after we started working. Poor Dan was a school principal, but he loaned a lot of money for all his children, making sure they won't be trapped with student debts. In the end, his monthly pension money will be deducted from the bank to pay debts with little left for their expenses. Luckily, my parents have a farm and that helped them to earn money. My step-siblings always ignored him when he asked for money, and my siblings were always the one that said money. My step-siblings will ask for vegetables and chickens from the farm for free. They didn't even go inside Dan's house, which is considered rude. They just took the things they needed and left. They rarely came back to visit them, and when they did, they rarely buy groceries. I worked hard to earn money for my family. I figured if I have money, I can solve all their problems and make their worries and sadness from poverty go away. So, 3 years ago, I bought a house for them and renovated it to their liking. The house is even bigger than my house and Dan's previous house. They can keep their dogs, fishes, chickens, and ducks. Dan is a good person. He helped me and my siblings when we were very poor. I paid for the house maintenance, hired housekeepers, and bought groceries every month. I gave them pocket money every month too. I made sure they would never lack of anything or need to work hard again, and all they need to do is relax in their old age. My step-siblings started to come frequently, stayed there at weekends, and ate the groceries that I bought. All the groceries are high quality. I only buy the best for my parents. Heck, they don't even cook. They expect my mother to cook for them. If not for the 2 housekeepers, my mother will be tired keeping the house clean because all of them are lazy bums. Their children throw snacks on the floor. Me and my siblings appeared amicable with my step-siblings, but we expressed our disapproval behind their backs. We know they do the same. They're two-faced after all. They even ask for some money from my stepfather sometimes, the pocket money that I gave him every month. My stepfather will always give some of his money every time, much to my frustration. They're a chef, accountants, manager, and teachers, mind you. A week ago, I came back alone to my hometown and stayed in my parents' house. I came to see if my parents lack anything in the house and to see the dogs and 2 cats. 3 of my step-siblings were there, with their family. We all talked for a bit in the living room and then the topic of the house ownership came up. Apparently, my stepbrother thought the house is on Dan's name. I told them the house is still in my name. They got upset and passive-aggressively said I don't trust or care about Dan or my mother. I asked why does it matter since Dan and my mother live a comfortable life and I would never kick them out. Dan, being a passive-aggressive individual himself, shut them out and praised me, saying that I'm not his daughter but still do more. They were offended and went home that night. They have been making passive-aggressive posts about being controlling on Facebook ever since. My siblings made passive-aggressive posts as well. Most of it are mocking quotes about greedy and shameless people. Am I the a-hole for refusing to change the ownership of the house? Does it matter when I managed everything in the house? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. The step beasts want to get a loan on the house, and you messed up their plan. Thank you. They accused me of being controlling, which is ridiculous. The only thing you're controlling is their ability to monetize the home your mom and stepfather live in. They had plans for that money and it went up in pretty spiraling colored smoke before their eyes. Had it been in his name and he passed first, I guarantee they would have put your mom on the streets within a few months. You're a good person. They are greedy and grateful leeches. Please don't let them bring you down and never let their words take hold. They will always be out for themselves and can't be trusted. Yeah, Opie, you suck for not letting these people take further advantage of your parents. The fact is, if the homes were in Dan's name, they would kick your mom out before your stepdad is even in the ground. I would still add cameras to the property. I'm sure the second your parents aren't in that home, they will descend and take everything not nailed down and wouldn't put it past them to squat. If I had a power to stop them from coming, I would have done it. Unfortunately, Dan is stubborn. He made a choice to let his children come because that's the only time he sees them. I already installed CCTV in a few areas in the house. Not the a-hole. They're just pissed and hoped you put it in Dan's name so when he dies, they'll get it. It's all about them as always. You were smart to keep it in your name. Otherwise, if it was in Dan's and he passed away first, your mom would end up homeless as they would kick her out. That's what I'm thinking. Dan has his own house. No one lives there for now, so they can take that instead. Can be even worse. Not sure what country you're from, but maybe they could consider putting your father in a care home in a few years and throwing your mom out. One house is not enough. They may want all the houses they can get their grubby paws on. They're sus. Don't ever let them get any advantage or they might just fully show their butts. You're a good kid to your parents. I love how you take care of them. Oh, definitely. They don't want the old house because the house is old and not as nice as the new house. The old house is not renovated and properly maintained. Update. Hello, I know my story is a bit boring, but I will give an update nonetheless. I was planning to visit my parents in my hometown this weekend with my siblings to talk to Dan about my step-siblings' behavior. Turns out, Dan already talked to them in their family group chat. My step-siblings were angry. 6 step-siblings threatened to leave the group chat and stop contacting him. Dan said so be it. They didn't do it. I will make it short. 1. Step-siblings spread rumors about me being someone's sugar baby. My nosy aunt heard about the rumor and told my mother and Dan, telling them how ridiculous the rumor was. 2. Dan snapped in the group chat and disowned them. He kicked 6 of my step-siblings that spread a rumor out of the group chat. 3. The 4 youngest step-siblings remain in the group. Unlike the elder siblings, they lost their mom when they were young, so they see my mother as their mom. Apparently, their elder siblings borrow, meaning coerce, money from them every month. They also decided to go no contact with their elder siblings. Me and my family blocked the 6 greedy demons. Thank you for the encouraging words from previous post. Have a nice day, everyone. Finally, an ending that doesn't make me rage. Trash took itself out. If not for that, this would still be a crap show. Even better, Stepdad threw his own a-hole Bayou kids out for being an a-hole to OP. I have the feeling that this one's not done yet. There's still a lot of things that the step-siblings can do that would mess things up. And in less individualistic societies, things are never easy. At least OP and step-parents seem to have their heads and hearts in the right place. As always, laughing out loud at the parasites threatening to go no contact. Oh no, what will Dan do? Kowtow to the parasites? Or respect the stepchild looking after him and his wife? How will this round of F-arounded find out unfold? My mother-in-law is essentially no contact with me. I am purposefully no contact. And I think she believes she's punishing me while I'm just blissfully existing. It's so nice not being roped into crap all the time anymore. And having to avoid rocking the boat. Or rather, work on keeping that boat from tipping over. She can drown for all I care. These people want to believe they're so important so badly, and then when it backfires, they're super surprised. No, not having to placate and take abuse isn't a particular hardship. Some people are so full of themselves they think the sun shines out of their behinds. Therefore, not speaking with them is some unbearable punishment. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to my brother's wedding because he didn't want to invite me in the first place? Plus updates. Original post. So for context, I, 21 female, have an older brother, 25 male, who is getting married later this year. We used to be somewhat close when we were growing up, but drifted apart after I met his now fiancée, 24 female. From the start, his girlfriend and I didn't really get along, but I've always kept it civil for the sake of him and my family, so there are no bad feelings between us. Or so I thought. My grandmother called me up about 4 weeks ago to ask if I wanted to go dress shopping with her for the wedding, and I was so confused because I didn't even know my brother was engaged. I thought nothing of it and assumed they didn't mention it because I don't live with my parents anymore, but did find it somewhat strange that no one posted anything about the proposal until I found his girlfriend's private Instagram account in my boyfriend's phone because she blocked me. About a week ago, my mom called me and told me that the invitations were sent out that day and asked if I got mine, because my brother's girlfriend was supposed to give them to my boyfriend since they work at the same company. I said no, and she was very irritated. She called me back after talking to my brother and told me that she's inviting us to the wedding and I don't need an invitation. So I said that I am not going to the wedding without an invite, and that if they didn't want me at the wedding, I don't want to be there. Now, my family is saying I'm the a-hole for not accepting the invitation. My mother inviting me over the phone and saying that I want to ruin her wedding day. So, am I the a-hole? Now, for the top comments before reading the updates. Nope, I sure as heck wouldn't go either in that case. Your mother has every reason to be upset, but with your brother and his wife, not with you. Your mother can't claim you didn't accept the invitation because there was none, and it's not on her to invite you. You weren't invited, and attending the wedding would just put you in a really uncomfortable and awkward position. It would be another matter if, at the very least, your brother had called you to apologize and personally ask you to attend. But he didn't. Maybe he still will, but it's a little too late for that in my opinion. This, brother doesn't want her there. Whatever the reason, don't go. They'll be unhappy. You'll be unhappy. No good can come of your going. Sounds like mom is trying to play happy family. If you want to solve the problem, then address the problem. Asking everyone to play happy is insulting and cruel. Opie will be sitting there, skin crawling in discomfort. At least that's how I'd feel. That was always one of my mother's lines. I told her when they start paying my bills, I'll start caring what they think. Mom is beefing up with the wrong person. They're beefing with the person they think is most likely to cave. Plus, she only has to deal with one person then, not her son, his fiancé, and possibly fiancé's family. I think she's failing to realize that it's too late. The damage has been done. If fiancé now turns around and says, oopsie, it won't be believed. And if she now sends an invite, OP probably will RSVP no. Not the a-hole, but please ask your parents why you didn't even know your brother was engaged and what the justification is for that. Ask your mom how she would feel if she found out about the engagement from another family member. Frankly, even if I got an invite, by this point I would decline. Now for the first update. Thank you for everyone's comments. I only posted a story today, but I already have the update because it just happened a few hours ago. My parents and my brother showed up at my house. Luckily, my boyfriend was home too. Oh, and I'm so not going to the wedding. This is what happened. My brother's fiancé does indeed not want me at the wedding. My parents and brother are trying to convince her to invite me. No thanks, not after everything. They came to our house to tell me I should apologize to my brother's girlfriend. I was totally fine with it. I only wanted to know what it was I was apologizing for, which is where I might be the a-hole. They told me that they couldn't tell me what it was, but that it happened 2 years ago when future sister-in-law and I used to work together at the same company. I tried to find out what it was, but they wouldn't tell me. My boyfriend got a bit upset about everything and told them that if they can't even tell me what I did wrong, he sees no reason for me to apologize. My brother then let us know that he doesn't care if we don't attend, but my grandparents told him if he doesn't invite me, they're also not going, and that's the only reason they want me there. So I decided that I'm not going to the wedding. Me and my boyfriend are going on a trip for the weekend. Not to be petty or anything, we're just going to enjoy ourselves. I really appreciate everyone's positive comments. Apologize. For what? Something from 2 years ago, but we won't tell you what. That is seriously insane, OP. Enjoy your trip. It's a power trip thing. I'd be willing to bet there's no thing from 2 years ago. Fiancé is just pushing the boundaries of what she can manipulate this family into doing. Good on OP for washing her hands off the whole ordeal. Agreed. And the parents going along with the stupidity gives off strong golden child vibes. Good for the grandparents. They should go for a mini vacay that weekend too. Take the grandparents with you. I would contact the grandparents directly, or go see them if you can and tell them exactly what you were told by your parents and brother. If they decide not to attend a wedding, then I would invite them on a weekend trip along with you and your boyfriend. Take them someplace that they would love to see or visit. I did this many years ago when my cousin did not invite several of the other cousins to her wedding. Grandmother refused to attend when she found out. All of the uninvited banded together and took grandmother on a week-long cruise. She had never been out of the state where she lived, and she had a blast. One cousin got us all t-shirts that proudly stated "The Uninvited" on the front, so we all took a photo with the shirts before boarding the ship and posted it on everyone's Facebook pages. The groom did not know that this was all going on, and he almost called off the wedding. They split about 2 years later once he learned how petty his bride could be. I love that idea, totally inviting them with us. Sweetie, please go ahead and enjoy your mini vacation. Never allow anyone to gaslight you into doing their biddings. There's absolutely no economical benefit of attending the wedding. Not the a-hole. Second update. So my grandparents actually called me the following morning asking if I got invited to the wedding. I said no, and they were so mad. Turns out, my grandparents were paying for the wedding. My brother told everyone he was paying for everything himself, but nope. My grandparents are now not paying for the wedding, after a future sister-in-law also refused to tell them what she is upset about. My parents have stepped up to cover the rest of the wedding expenses, and my grandparents, my boyfriend, and I will be enjoying a great weekend. Thank you to everyone's comments and advice. I really appreciate it. My parents have stepped up to cover the rest of the wedding expenses. Your parents freaking suck. Your brother is excluding you from his wedding. He won't tell you why. And not only are your parents okay with it, they're stepping up and helping pay for the wedding? Gross. I tell the parents to buzz off, since your grandparents are being more parental than your actual parents are capable of. Well, now Opie knows who to cut out of her life. They made it easy for her. Don't you love it when trash takes itself out? Your parents are the a-holes. So when you get married, are they paying for your wedding? Will they demand you invite your brother and future sister-in-law, or they won't pay? She can't say what it is you did, but you have to apologize. It must be so petty that if she told, she would in fact be the a-hole. Enjoy the day with your grandparents and your boyfriend. Save yourself the money and grief. To me, I wouldn't even do holidays with them. Your parents picked sides, not you, and they can enjoy the fruits of their labor.